Welcome to the Pinnacle Bank Championship podcast. I'm Chris Gorman from Hurrdat, and I'm here with the legend, Heath Mello, President and CEO of the Greater Omaha Chamber. Heath, thanks for joining us.
Chris, it's great to be with you here, my friend.
So we're in July. We're just a few weeks away from the Pinnacle Bank Championship. First, most important question, have you been golfing this summer?
Not as much as I'd like. I'd say I'm entering into my third year at the Chamber, and I joked with folks. I just haven't been able to golf as much over the last couple summers. But maybe because of the weather this summer, I've been able to get out occasionally on a Friday, got out on some holidays so far. And so the game is getting better slowly back where it was maybe a decade ago.
Well, good. We're about ready to watch some pros tee off here in a few weeks. You're our 10th guest of this show and the only guest who's been a ceremonial tee shot speaker. And that was just days after you took this job. So talk to me about 2023. You took this job, then you have to be a ceremonial tee speaker. Like, what kind of craziness was happening?
You know, I still think about it because I started on a Wednesday. And it was my birthday, actually. And first day at the Chamber was the day I started on my birthday. And then the following Monday was, the next day, Thursday. It was the third. I literally, they had scheduled this out, and they're like, well, I was like, I love the Pinnacle Bank Championship. I've gone, I participated in the Pro-Ams. I've gone, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I've gone through all four of the days to watch the professionals. So when they asked me to do it, and the folks assisting me at the time of the Chamber said, hey, typically we don't do events this soon for folks. I was like, no, I know the folks at the PBC. They're great folks. I'd love to do it. I said yes without asking any questions. Then did I find out, hey, you've got to be out here. We need you to be out here at 6 o'clock in the morning to help get prepared. The first tee time is this time. But it was great, honestly. The whole team was fabulous in terms of just making that experience really memorable for me, in the sense of getting to watch the first couple golfers go off, the ceremonial tee shot, being able to share just some really good information about the impact the Pinnacle Bank Championship has on the Omaha community. It was a great way to kind of kick off my Chamber career, so to speak.
So we're 2026. We're in the 10th year of the Pinnacle Bank Championship. As you're talking to businesses that are thinking about relocating to Omaha, does the Pinnacle Bank Championship ever come up?
A lot of sports activities come up regularly. Everything from the Pinnacle Bank Championship to the College World Series, and of late, more of the Supernovas and Love, Nebraska, the professional volleyball scene. We're fortunate, I think, to have some very key regional assets when it comes to sports, Chris. And, I think most folks don't realize the Pinnacle Bank Championship is the only professional golf event we have in Nebraska. It's consistently grown over the years from when it was on the web.com tour and the Nike, kind of driven by Nike, to now on the Korn Ferry tour. Some of the professionals that we've seen come through Omaha has been pretty amazing. And so for folks, like when companies are looking and asking about what kind of quality of life activities and kind of regional assets we have that would make their talent want to come here, Pinnacle Bank Championship is one of the many things we highlight in terms of this is something that's uniquely Omaha. It's very professional, brings in great corporate sponsors, community sponsors. And in that sense, it really is a real great marketing tool for not just Omaha, but I emphasize, Chris, the greater Omaha region, because we know we live in a big metro region, over 1 million people, and folks who may live in Council Bluffs can go out to Indian Creek just as much as folks down in Platt Smith or folks in Blair or Fremont.
Omaha is really becoming this hub for sports. You mentioned Supernovas. You mentioned like Korn Ferry Tour, Union Omaha building a brand new stadium downtown, Warner Park with the Storm Chasers. College World Series is just iconic. What do you think it is about Omaha that attracts all these like sports teams and events?
I've wondered this a little bit, but talking to folks, not from Omaha, and I always kind of gauge this a little bit of folks who are visitors or folks not kind of hometown folks. It's really the experiences that we are able to put on as a community around these sporting events that make them that much bigger and much more impactful. And then folks from outside our community see it and they are like, this is pretty amazing. You've got a community that's fully invested into your sports economy, your sports kind of your overall sports activities, sports events. With predominantly a lot of them we know are amateur related, but our professional sporting events over the last, I'd say 5 to 6 years, even during that COVID dynamic, has truly helped kind of put Omaha on kind of the Midwest sports map. We may not have, an NFL team or an MLB team or an NBA team, but the reality is we as a community are able to galvanize philanthropy, the private sector, the public sector around some of these major events that just make them really an iconic experience for folks who are coming in Omaha maybe for the first time, or folks that have come here and then want to come back because they've had such a great experience in comparison to a lot of other larger cities that, it's a hassle maybe to get around town to get to something, or, feels like maybe wasn't worth it because it's so stressful. And I always emphasize, look, it's just easier here.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go to a major sporting event, it's just easier to go to one here. And I think you're going to continue to see that sports economy be a stronger linchpin for us moving forward, not just because of some of the new developments that are happening, around Omaha, or you're going to continue to see kind of the opportunities that happen with development around the Charles Schwab Stadium. Clearly we see a lot of activity in the community around golf and golf development. But I think it's more of the excitement that I would say kind of our 18 to 35-year-olds in the Omaha region really have around sports in general, and really pushing us as a community to focus on what are we doing to bring in more sports events, more sports entertainment, but also how are we looking to engage maybe some folks we haven't engaged in the past in this area.
Yeah. So you mentioned folks that are coming into the Omaha for the first time. People come in from all over the country for College World Series. There's gonna be a ton coming in from Western Nebraska, coming in for Pinnacle Bank Championship. Omaha just as good as anybody. What are the things that people that are coming to Omaha for the first time can't miss?
I'd say some of the things folks can't miss if they're coming here for the first time. I think we generally know the Henry Dorley Zoo is the #1 zoo in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, every time you can ever emphasize to folks, hey, it's experience unlike anything you're going to see anywhere else in the world. That's arguably the first place to go. I actually think folks who want to get a great meal, there are plenty of great Omaha, I get asked this all the time. There's some really great steakhouses for folks and variety of dishes that you can pick from. Everything from the Drover to 801 Chop House to Brother Sebastian. You got Pivot Prime. You've got restaurants that just you're not going to get anywhere else in Nebraska. And I'd actually make an argument. I've traveled the Midwest extensively, and I still think our restaurant scene here, take the steak out of it, but from sushi to a variety of other things, people may not associate Omaha with sushi, but we've got just some tremendous restaurants for folks to be able to engage in and really enjoy and love. I actually think, perhaps the biggest probably entertainment opportunity more and more that folks are maybe not as, I'm thinking sports crowds. So I'm thinking it's folks who are coming in who are sports related, is really perhaps, I'm going to say it with some level of trepidation that folks may say, but I still think the downtown market is still the place for folks to go and experience. I know there's a lot of construction with the streetcar right now. I hear about it every single day from someone, if not multiple people. But I emphasize you can get around the downtown kind of urban core area, and it's got so many unique events and so many unique venues, for everything from a world-class museum in Joslin, to the old market itself, which is, got great shops. It's great shopping, great eating, some great entertainment. Steelhouse Omaha, if you want to get a more intimate concert. It's just really kind of that urban core area, Chris, is we try to emphasize more and more to people. That is kind of the heartbeat of the region. And if there's anything you can't miss you go there and you can't miss something. There's going to be something that's going to bring your attention into it, whether it's music, whether it's entertainment, whether it's other sporting events, if you're here for the PBC, restaurants. And it's just a kind of a unique urban culture that I think, are really, really proud of in the Omaha Metro. And it's only getting better. Give it some time to emphasize. Got some things in the works still downtown and the Midtown area. But it's going to continue to be that magnet for folks who want to come in for the first time.
Yeah, and it just keeps getting better. Like Gene Leahy Mall.
I didn't even mention RiverFront Park, and I probably should have. I probably will arguably get slapped for that one by someone, because we are the chamber's headquarters is right right outside. You can see the new RiverFront Park. 3 parks that connect to each other. I've not seen anything quite like it. Any of the other, Kansas City, Chicago, Denver, Twin Cities, Oklahoma City, St. Louis. I've never seen quite like it in terms of this kind of unique park system. For folks who just want to go outside on a walk, or you want to spend time with your kids, or you want to go out with a group of friends and go play some sand volleyball, or go just have a good time walking around, talking and engaging, having lunch together. It's got something for everybody, which is just really, really unique. But once again, that's on the border, and that's in heart of the urban core, I'd say, heart of the downtown area that I know we're seeing. I think we've seen like 1 million people visit that park in like the first year, which was kind of an unprecedented deal in terms of the first year it opened, which opened up 3 weeks after I started the chamber. So PBC, second day on the job. RiverFront Park, the third week on the job. So
that's an awesome start. So our city's growing. One of the things that's also been growing is the charity component of the Pinnacle Bank Championship. We've recently crossed $1 million donated to local charities. Why do you think Omaha is so willing to give to like local charities and organizations?
I think that is, I never want to sound hokey, and I use the word hokey because that's a word that I learned growing up. But I think there is a deep sense of community that people have. And when people feel, hey, I'm going to go volunteer, or I'm going to go donate to something, I know that this is going to have a deeper impact in our community with what I'm trying to do. And I think it's that sense of service, that sense of duty, that sense of community that kind of wraps together that philanthropic dynamic that the Pinnacle Bank Championship's been able to do for a number of years, is be able to generate revenue from sponsors, from attendees, and then be able to provide that funding back to the community to have such a great impact with so many great nonprofit organizations that are seeking to create a better Omaha. I think that's really candidly what makes Omaha Omaha. There is a lot of other communities that I've talked to, other chamber presidents, other business leaders, who say, I've never seen a community quite like Omaha when it comes to your philanthropic partnerships between your business community, your foundations, your public sector, everybody working together to try to make something happen. And no matter it's a sporting event that then donates its proceeds to nonprofits in the community, whether it's the RiverFront Park, which is a unique public-private partnership, you name it. It's something that really makes us a special place. And it's part of the secret sauce, so to speak, that I'm convinced will only continue to make Omaha a more competitive community for the future, both in terms of talent, in terms of businesses that want to move here, but more importantly, make us more competitive to keep people, here. People feel they've got an opportunity to make an impact. And make an impact relatively quickly, whether it's supporting a Pinnacle Bank Championship event, whether as a sponsor or a volunteer, or they can go volunteer and engage with something else, sporting activity that they care about. First Tee is another good example, founded here by former PGA professional Steve Hogan up in North Omaha. It's a youth sports program for golf, for getting kids into golf at an early age. I mean, you can tie in so many great things that the community supports. And I just think, as much as anything else, it's going to continue to be, I think, our hallmark card moving forward in terms of why Omaha is such a great place to live, work, and play, but also our ability to recruit more people here.
Absolutely. So we're a couple of Nebraska kids that decided to stay here. We've been called flyover state. Like, hey, how quickly can I get to Colorado if I'm coming from the east? last question.
Yeah.
Like, what's next? Like, what's the elevator pitch for Omaha for like where you're heading in the next, say, 10, 20 years?
I think, I think we're in the process right now, Chris. I can't give you an exclusive right now, so to speak, in terms of what the new brand's going to be, what the new marketing campaign is going to be. I think right now we're in a unique process right now as a chamber and as a region to explore how we're going to market our region differently to folks about why Omaha is a place, and why Greater Omaha, I should say, the Greater Omaha region, why the Greater Omaha region is a place for folks to want to come start their career. And I would say we just finished up a pilot project, and that was kind of part of the effort a little bit. Was we had to go do some research, we had to go do some real in the lab work, so to speak, to figure out kind of what was really connecting with people. And part of it is folks that are maybe from the metro area or folks from the region who left, and that was kind of a dynamic that we targeted. Really, it's Omaha's a different place than it was a decade ago. Like this is a different Omaha, and if you've ever been here, it's a different Omaha than it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And we emphasize why Omaha. It's a different Omaha, from career opportunities to public amenities, to sports, to art, to entertainment, to housing. That cost of living is still abnormally lower than anywhere else you're going to find in the Midwest. But it's also a city that's on the move, and it's on the city on the rise. And it's not your grandfather's Omaha. It's not your parents' Omaha. And I think that's part of the messaging that we're kind of building out now, exploring more and more how that's really landing with kind of the target audience of folks that we're looking at, really looking at kind of the 25 to kind of 45 age range in terms of folks that we feel, hey, they've got a better opportunity to kind of come in Omaha and be very successful. But it's just, they think Omaha is back in literally 2002, 2004. Omaha 20 years ago is what folks are really really kind of thinking about. So I would simply say be on the lookout. It's going to be over the next year and a half, it's going to be a real big opportunity for us to kind of put out this kind of bigger, broader new message about why this is a different Omaha than it's been for the last few generations. But I also think you'll hear us probably emphasize a little bit more. You heard me say it earlier. It's just easier here. And when people think about flyover, they like, hey, Omaha, Nebraska, it's flyover country, it's flyover space. Denver to the west, Chicago to the east. Anybody who's gone to those two cities know it's pandemonium. No matter what happened, it's pandemonium. So we emphasize it's just easier here. You can get to a 20-minute commute depending on where you live. You can experience professional sports. You can experience tremendous art, culture. You can experience a tremendous lifestyle here that's truly pennies on the dollar in comparison to Denver or Chicago. So you'll hear us kind of probably sprinkle that in a little bit too. It's just the fact is, living in Omaha, it's just easier. And for folks that want to go do big things, this is a place that you can do it. You can have a tremendous impact very, very quickly. And it's still, once again, it's easier to do than in large metro areas that you may just be a small fish in a big sea in that sense. And so be on the lookout with you and your folks. Chris, you've been helpful in terms of the work that we're trying to do with one of our councils, exploring talent, exploring engagement and attraction of talent, how we communicate with folks. And I've told our board and told our members that this is just a really exciting time, not for the chamber as much, but it's exciting time for the Omaha region because they're going to see some really cool things in the next 18 months.
We can't wait. So Heath, thank you for joining the podcast. Thank you for what you do for our city. You can go to the PinnacleBankChampionship.com for sponsorship opportunities, volunteer opportunities, and get tickets. We're only a few weeks away. It's our 10th year, and we couldn't be more excited. Heath, thanks for joining. We'll see you on the course.
Thank you.